why don't you try this play on the traditional banana bread? Today we're making Jamaican plantain bread. Let's start off by going over all of our ingredients. So as far as your dry ingredients, you're gonna need about 2 cups of flour, 2/3 of a cup of granulated sugar. You're gonna need 1/4 a cup of dried oats. Then as far as all of your spices, you're going to need cinnamon, nutmeg, baking soda, baking powder, and salt. I'll have all of these listed in the comment below. You're gonna need some chocolate chips. I have about a 1/2 cup here. And then you'll need some additional to kind of put on top of the banana bread before you put it in the oven. Then I have 2 eggs. I have 1/3 of a cup of sour cream, 1/4 a cup of milk, 1/2 a cup of butter. Salted butter is fine for this recipe. And then you have your vanilla extract. Of course, your very last but most important ingredient is going to be your plantains. My grocery store does not have a great selection of plantains. So if you're unable to find super ripe plantains or buy plantains that get ripe for you pretty quickly, you can always use frozen sweet plantains. So that's what I'm doing for this recipe. If you can find fresh plantains, please go ahead and find those. I'm sure it's gonna taste that much better, but this recipe, I will say, is very good using these. So don't be afraid you're gonna ruin your recipe. Let's get started. You're gonna start off by heating up your plantains, or if you were able to find super ripe, fresh plantains, get those all chopped up and put them into a bowl. Then we're just gonna blend this all together. When you're done blending, they should look something like this, and then you're ready to move on to your next step. So next you're gonna get your butter melted, add that to a bowl, and you're gonna mix in your granulated sugar. Then you're gonna blend these 2 ingredients until they're white and fluffy. Next, grab your 1/3 cup of sour cream. Get that all mixed in. Next, you're gonna add your plantains to the same bowl. And then you're gonna mix this together just until it's all combined. All right, so next you're gonna mix in 1 egg at a time. Next, you're gonna add in 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Once your eggs are in there, you're gonna move this bowl to the side. Grab another clean bowl, and we're gonna mix in all of our dry ingredients. So we have our 2 cups of flour. We have our dried oats, about 1/4 a cup. And then we have all of our spices. So we have the cinnamon, nutmeg, baking powder, baking soda, and salt. Get those all whisked in together. Great, so now you have your 2 bowls, your wet ingredients and your dry ingredients. You're gonna start mixing your dry ingredients into your wet in about thirds. So add 1/3 of this dry into the wet, and then blend until combined. the dry. Blend that in. When that's all mixed in, you're gonna put your mixer to the side and grab a spoon. Now you can add your half a cup of chocolate chips and mix those in. Great, so once your mixture is all set, you're gonna take a loaf pan and you're gonna get that lined with some parchment paper. Then you can start to mix in your bread mixture. Get that all leveled out. It is gonna be a bit sticky. Okay. Then you're gonna take a few chocolate chips and then just get those sprinkled on top of your plantain bread. Now you should be set to take your plantain bread, put it in the oven at 350 for about 50 minutes. You do wanna make sure you're checking it with a toothpick to make sure everything's dried. I think the last time I made this, I actually needed to cook it a little bit longer, so for about an hour for me. I'm gonna throw that in there and then we'll be right back. I'm gonna have this rest for about 30 minutes. Nom nom. And then you can start slicing it up and give it a try. Alright, grab yourself a piece. So good. Alright, if you like this recipe and you're interested in seeing more like it, some recipes from different countries around the world, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Also, make sure you go check out my Jamaican rum punch recipe. Thanks for watching.